Dunzo, over it, period. I'm out. Catch you later. Today's video is gonna be like more on the chill side. As you can see, I don't have any makeup on, and I mean, the fro is popping, but it's not really styled or anything like that. And that's because I'm gonna be doing a face mask. So I have some bentonite clay, some apple cider vinegar, some turmeric, all types of stuff. I'm gonna make me a face mask, and I just want to talk to you guys a little bit about some things that I have learned in 2019. Yeah, so basically over the next couple of weeks or so, I want to start sharing with you guys like some stories of things that I've learned in 2019. You know, I think I'm very open with you guys, but at the same time, like, I'm not. Like, I kind of tell y'all stuff, but I'm like a little vague about it. And so I want to kind of just, you know, talk about lessons and things because, you know, I realize that the reason that I go through things that I go through, and by the way, right now, I'm taking some bentonite clay and putting it in this bowl to mix together. And once I finish mixing the products, I'll tell you guys everything that I did. But anyway, so I realized that the reason that I go through so many things that I go through is because, you know, if someone else doesn't have to go through something because I told my story, then what I went through was not in vain. Which is not in vain anyway because there was lessons learned and growth and all that good stuff. But yeah, so I'm gonna talk in separate videos about like specific things, but in this video I want to talk about like love, romance, relationships, all of that aspect of what I've learned in 2019. And I want to basically let you guys know why I don't really plan on dating in 2020. Now, I don't want to put my foot in my mouth because at the end of 2018, I said I wasn't dating anyone in 2019. And I wasn't in a committed relationship in 2019, but if you know, you know, like I already have a video on my channel talking about the situation. But yeah, that I wouldn't consider that not dating. So I'll say right now, you know, when that person comes along for me, I feel like I will know. And I'm not like dating anyone for the casualty anymore. Like, I'm over that. I'm dating for divine life partnerships at this point. Like, so before I get too deep into my rant, I have the bentonite clay, I have a little bit of turmeric, some apple cider vinegar, and grapeseed oil. Oh, and let me add a couple drops of tea tree oil. This mask is gonna be fire. Okay, so pull my hair back. But yeah, let's go ahead and just get into it. So at the end of 2018, you guys probably remember I was dating someone and we were living together, and you know, I never really quite addressed the situation because I didn't feel like it really needed to be addressed online. But it's like leaving that situation, I was a little bit scarred. Just because there was it was a heavy relationship, you know? It was just very heavy. We lived together, like I said. We were poor as fuck. And I'm gonna just go ahead and say this because it's been like a year. There's no shade. I don't make videos to shade people. I just spread the facts and the truth. Like, the facts is the facts. If you did something and you're not happy about the way it's being told, you know, feel free to make your own channel. But just know I'm only telling the facts. I don't say anything out of shade or to bring anybody down or anything of that nature. We struggled financially because only one of us was bringing in income. And I kind of thought at the time that it was like a test, you know, but once I went back and I looked at all the red flags, a lot of things in my life started going on the decline once I became involved with this person. And I didn't really realize that that was connected to the energy that this person had. They were older than me, like I want to say 4 years older than me. Yeah, like 4 years older than me. Um, and so they had their walk around the park when it comes to relationships. I have really only been in one serious relationship, and that was when I was younger. So this relationship that I'm speaking about now was really my first like adult relationship, and I really kind of let this other person take the lead because I didn't really, And so we had a very passionate relationship. Like, he was a Gemini as well. Oh, I can already tell this face mask is gonna be bomb. He was a Gemini as well, and we had a lot in common. So there was like a lot of intimacy, a lot of passion in our situation, and it really blinded me from the truth of what things were. And I wasn't able to really see things clearly because I was so like caught up in the fairy tale of what I thought our situation was. Um, when in retrospect, if we can just keep it all the way 100, homeboy was being provided a house and home and food to eat and, you know, the cookie and all types of things. And he was not even being faithful to the situation, nor really contributing to the situation. But because I just felt like we had such this strong connection, like we were just so, I mean, honestly, if I never dated this person, we probably would have made really, really good friends. But now it's like, it's kind of too late for all of that, just because I I know too much about you as far as like how you operate, which makes me not want to be your friend. Um, but yeah, I was very attached. I was very attached. And so in the beginning of our relationship, we spent a lot of time like getting to know each other and telling each other, like our stories, and we bonded so much off of that. And now I know that that bond is called trauma bonding. So trauma bonding is basically when you and a person that you meet, you bond together over common tragedy in your life, or you bond together over traumatic experience in your life. And this person had some traumatic things happen in their life. I've had some traumatic things happen in my life. And at the time, I'm pretty sure they were suffering from depression. And I was in a place where I had just come out of my depression for real, for real. Like, I had spent a lot of time alone. I hadn't dated anyone. Like, my last relationship had ended like 2 years prior. So I had spent a lot of time alone and reflecting. I had just recently went vegan. Like, I felt like I had the keys to life. Little did I know, I didn't know shit at this point. But I felt like I had the keys to life. I felt like I could really help this person. And that was another thing that really kept me so attached to the connection, was because I felt like I couldn't leave them behind. Like, I could not just let go, and they, like, what were they gonna do without me? And something that would say a lot is like, I don't know what I would do without you. Like, you're the best thing that ever happened to me. Da, 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 things like that. And at first I found it very flattering, but as time went on and I started to realize like I wasn't really happy in the situation, it was kind of scary, because it was like, why are you saying these things to me? Like, are you saying this to me like to flatter me, or are you saying this to me because energetically like you feel me moving on and you don't want me to do that? So anyway, that relationship ended up coming to a close. It was a very hard decision for me because I really was afraid to like live by myself. And the reason I even was living on my own to start with was like a very like crazy situation, you know. It wasn't really by choice. I really was like on my own because I felt like I didn't have any other choice. Um, and I just didn't really want to be by myself. I was kind of afraid. But anyway, I followed my intuition. You know, Spirit was telling me for a couple of months beforehand, you know, it's time for you to leave the situation. And it took me a minute, but I eventually, you know, told him that he could not, like, stay with me anymore. And, you know, that was that. Now, this was probably, like, end of January, beginning of February. Even though he had moved out, we were still like kind of involved. We had got a dog together, so like, you know, he would come over and see the dog. We actually spent Valentine's Day together, etc., etc. But a couple months after, you know, he left initially, I decided to leave the situation as well. Because, like I said, I only did that in the beginning because I felt like I didn't have any other options, which is a whole nother story in and of itself, which I'll tell you guys that at a different time. But I ended up coming to live with my grandmother, which is where I stay now, like with my grandma. So, once I did that, it was almost like I really didn't have any connection to the situation at all. It was almost like all of the time that we spent together, like in that home, was binding us together. You know, it was like I couldn't go in any room without a memory of this person. And when I was out of that environment, I realized how much I had overlooked situations and how much I was just ignoring my intuition and how much I was really just kind of over it. Um, but yet and still, like, I still kind of like was allowing this person in my energy every now and again. Now, let's fast forward to April. So by the time April come around, like, we obviously, like I said, at this point we're not living together, but we still were having like communication here and there, and you know, intimate interactions here and there. But in April, someone came back into my life that I was not expecting, like, at all. So this person is the main person that taught me the lessons I'm going to be talking about in this video. So I'm going to go ahead and give them a name. Plus the other person, you guys, if you've been following me, like, you actually saw them while they were on my channel. Like, we posted a couple videos together. But this person, just for the sake of the video, we're going to call him Sam. So Sam had reached out to me in April, basically just like, you know, how are you? Like, what's up? And it really caught me off guard because I already had a little bit of history with Sam. So this is the backstory with Sam. The summer before, so summer 2018, I had met Sam on like an app, and we had linked up, and I remember the first time that we linked up. Did we link up twice? Yeah, we linked up twice. The first time that we linked up, I just really felt this like pull to him, and I just did not really understand why, but it scared me. Like, it kind of scared me. And so I was like very reserved, very to myself. Like, I remember that night we ended up like chilling watching a movie, and I just like sat so far away from him that it doesn't even really make any sense. It's kind of funny in retrospect, but I just sat so far away from him because the energy, like, it just intimidated me. Okay. The energy just really intimidated me. So, basically, to make a long story short, we hung out a couple times during the summer of 2018, but then, like, I just did not hear anything from him. Like, he completely ghosted me, and that was that. Granted, I had a lot of other things going on, so it kind of, like, hurt my feelings for a sec, But I was like, okay, I'm not even really gonna trip on it. I'm not even gonna press you. Like, it wasn't like a hard ghost, like I'm hitting you, I'm hitting you, I'm hitting you. I think I hit him up like twice and he didn't respond, and I was like, alright, like I can take a hit. It is what it is. But it was no hard feelings. Like, I was just like, okay, like, and I did have a lot going on, like I said, and I feel like that energy kind of radiated through me. Like, and you guys gotta think, 2018, this was pre like weight loss, pre all of that. Like, I was kind of in the beginning of my self-love journey, you know, at the beginning of 2018. So like I said, it wasn't no hard feelings. But in April, when they hit me up, I was really taken aback because, like I said, like, they ghosted me. So I'm like, huh? So they hit me up, and I felt like, you know, well, since this person ghosted me, I'm kind of gonna like, I ain't gonna hop right back into the situation. And so I kind of, you know, let there be a tad bit of a chase, not really even enough to really call it a chase. But, you know, I just kind of would intentionally not respond to stuff here and there, or, you know, wait, you know what I'm saying? And then I didn't link with him immediately like I had the time before. Like, I kind of waited and let a few days of us just talking on the phone. Like, I just, you know, tried to do things differently from how I had done them the last time. But anyway, we ended up linking. I'm not gonna like tell the whole, like, give a play-by-play, but to make a long story short, we ended up linking and getting to know each other. We spent a lot of time together. Like, we had a lot of similar interests, and we just, I feel like we vibed. Like, we just kind of vibed. However, there was just something there that, and I know that both of us felt it. It was just something there that didn't sit all the way quite right. And for me, I thought that what it was my fear of intimacy, you know, because coming out of the situation I had just come out of, it moved really quickly. Like, it moved really quickly, kind of against my will. Like, it was kind of just sprung on me. And I was like really not trying to be in that situation again. I'm gonna add a second layer while I'm sitting here. I was really just not trying to be in that situation again. Like, and so I was kind of standoffish at first. But it was like almost as soon as I noticed I was being standoffish, and he noticed it too because he pointed out to me, like, you know, I feel like you're holding back, you know, the intimate side of you. Once he pointed it out, I did the exact opposite. Like, I feel like I went into like complete codependent mode. And that is how I have gotten where I am today. So, much like my last relationship that I was just telling y'all about, I allowed Sam to take the lead because now it's like, okay, I've been in an adult situation, but it was so toxic that I don't want this situation to be anything like that. Like, but I don't really know what to do. So, you know, I would kind of ask him where did he see things going, and he was like, you know, I'm just kind of going with the flow. Which, ladies, if a man tells you he's going with the flow, that means that he is just enjoying having access to you, whatever access you are allowing him to have, and that's really about the end of that. So it's up to you. If you're cool with the amount of access that he has to you, then all right. And at that moment, I was cool with the amount of access that I felt like he had to me because I didn't feel like I was really losing anything in the situation. And like I said, I really didn't want to jump into anything. I just kind of was like seeing where his intentions were along the way. However, there were a lot of times that my intuition, and not even just intuition, like I saw things and I ignored them because I didn't want to know the truth. Or I would be put in a situation where I knew I was being tested. I knew I was being tested by spirit, and I failed a lot of them. Let me give you guys an example. Now, don't judge me, you guys. don't judge me before I tell you guys this. Before I say this, I want you guys to understand how codependency works. Codependency usually consists of two different types of people. Like, most codependent relationships thrive or attract a narcissistic person. And I'm not calling him that. I'm just giving you guys some backstory. A narcissist person is somebody who's really self-absorbed. All they see is things their way. Like, they really are honestly kind of incapable of love. And the reason codependent people attract these people, because codependent people give. Like, that's literally all they do. They give to their own detriment, because people are not going to give to you the way a codependent person gives to you, because a codependent person will give to you in spite of themselves, which is never healthy. You cannot pour from an empty cup. And that's what a codependent person will do. They will completely pour their entire cup out onto you. Now, not even gonna, no shade. One of my parents is a narcissist. The other is codependent. And I watched closely the codependent one, and I resented them a lot for their codependency, because I could see it. You know, like, when you're not in the situation, you see, like, what's going on clearly. And so I always knew that one of my parents was codependent. I resented them for it, and I always vowed that I would not be that way. However, it takes more than a conscious thing. It takes more than just like a saying, a verbal confirmation. Like, I didn't even realize that I was subconsciously programmed my whole life to be a codependent person. Now, let me get back into the text. I had to just give you guys like a little bit of backstory with that. Now, there was a time I was going over to this person's house, and finances was kind of tight. Like, they was kind of tight at this present moment. I do YouTube and social media full time. Like, I also do graphic design. So my money kind of comes in like pretty sporadically. And before I learned how to save and actually budget properly, like, I would like get money, spend it. Point is, money was kind of tight at this present moment. But I was on the way over to their house, and, you know, I was letting them know, like, hey, I'm on the way. And they asked me, like, can you get me something from Chick-fil-A? Now, Sam, like, did a lot for me. Like, he, you know, took me out. Like, anytime I was over there, we was blowing it down, and it was 98% of the time it was his, like, and, you know, he just was a very, like, giving person, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, so I felt really obligated to do it, not by him, but just, like, myself. I'm like, you know, if you like him, like, you need to. And I was like, damn, like, if I get him this Chick-fil-A, that's literally going to be, like, the last of my money until I get paid again, which is, like I said, sporadic. Like, if you're a freelancer, you know how that go. Could be tomorrow, could be next week. But moral of the story, I ended up getting it. And I knew when I got it, like, Spirit told me immediately, you're going to regret that. Like, you're going to regret that. Not because of, like, the financial aspect of it, but because you have proven that you are not ready for this situation, because you are still codependent. I had no boundaries. Sam, now, okay, let me say, first and foremost, Sam is not, I don't consider Sam to be, like, a terrible person, or, like, I don't hate them. I don't have any ill feelings towards them. Despite, you know, what happened, I know that those things come out of, like, other vibrations, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's really no hard feelings. And one of the things that have been so contradictory for me to accept is the fact that even though the situation ended how it ended, Sam still treated me like nicer, better, however you want to say it, than anyone else I had ever been with. So it's no ill will or hard feelings. Um, However, you know, there were little things that bothered me that I would speak up about, and I would say something. But first things first, I would only say something on the phone. If we were talking on the phone, like on FaceTime. Rarely did I confront him about something that I was feeling face to face, because I did not know how to lay boundaries. Like, at all. One of the things that will bother me is that he was someone who, like, would either be like late to something, or, you know, say he was X amount of way and wouldn't really be X amount of way, or he would plan something or say he was going to do something and didn't do it. And both of those things are like very, very triggering pet peeves for me. Like, I really, really, that gets under my skin so bad. And it was so many times that I would tell him how much this, like, bothers me. And the energy that he always gave me back was like, okay, well, if you don't like it, like, and that intimidated me. Like, it scared me, because it's like, I like you, so I don't want to say anything or do anything that's going to upset you, but I definitely don't want to say anything and then you ghost me like you did the last time. And so I went about the whole situation with this underlying fear of, what if I get abandoned? What if I get rejected? What if I am left out in the cold? And it's crazy because I never placed my boundaries and still ended up in that situation. Abandoned, feeling rejected, and left out in the cold. So, what that really showed me was, you can do so much to appease a person, to appease a situation, and it's still not guaranteed to have the outcome that you desired. Which, that would have never had a desirable outcome anyway, because how can you have a healthy relationship with someone who does not have boundaries? Like, both of us had things that could have been worked on. So I can't sit here and act like, you know, oh, I was the perfect XYZ and everything failed because you XYZ. When that was not the case and scenario at all. Like, he has to deal with his underlying insecurities that would make you, you know, do the things that ended our situation. And I have to deal with my underlying insecurities that made it hard for me to lay my boundaries. Like, there was growth to be had there in both situations. Why I'm not going to be dating in 2020, or I don't foresee myself dating in 2020. It is December 11th, which means tomorrow will actually mark 3 months that we stopped talking. And I have healed a lot and grown a lot in this last 3 months. But I would be lying to say that I didn't still think about the situation, like, kind of regularly. You know, obviously I'm sitting here doing a video about it. This has a bigger purpose, but I'd be lying if I said that I didn't still think about it. Which is really contrasting to the previous relationship I was talking about that ended, you know, as this one started, because it was like, as soon as me and Sam reconnected, I was not thinking about old boy at all. Like, it sounds so harsh, and I don't mean it to sound that way, but it's the facts are the facts. I was not thinking about him at all. Like, I was donezo, over it, period. Like, I'm out. Catch you later. And so I kind of thought that maybe I needed that same type of energy to get past Sam. And so I've had a couple of interactions with other people, and each one left me feeling unsatisfied and unfulfilled. And I realized that I gained nothing from these casual encounters except more of a void, because I realized you know no one else can fill the void for you. No one else can fill the void for you. And so at the end of the day, and I'm just hypothetically speaking at this point, but you know, at the end of the day, sleeping with someone is not gonna make you feel true unconditional love in your heart. And the reason that I can't seem to stop thinking about this situation is because one thing that I can say this with my chest wholeheartedly, and this has been with anyone that I have been in a relationship with or a situation to this caliber, I gave unconditional love because I always give unconditional love. And I don't receive unconditional love back. But what I realize is most people don't even know what unconditional love is. I have felt unconditional love from spirit, and that is all. Which is why I give it unconditionally, because I'm giving the same thing that I want to receive. But I'm attracting empty and broken vessels because of my desire to just feel someone with unconditional love. I'm pouring into someone so much, hoping like, someone please pour back into me. Please pour back into me. How is something broken? How if you have a cup? Let's say this cup had a hole in the bottom, and I'm just pouring. How can they fill me back up when what I'm giving them isn't even sticking? It's just going straight through. I know that there is someone out there who is capable of giving me true, divine, unconditional love. Until I meet that person, I have no interest in the way that this generation, honestly, not even this generation, this society, I don't have any, the way that people operate and move, I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to be a part of something that makes me second guess myself. I don't want to be a part of something that brings me confusion, that leaves me feeling drained, that leaves me feeling unworthy, insecure. And until I learned these lessons and I healed completely and I grew, I was only going to keep attracting that. I don't want that no more. I know that my divine life partner lies on the other side of complete and total self-love. And as much as I would love to say that today I have complete and total self-love, I'm about 80% there. I'm very proud of myself. I'm about 80% there. I have a few more things. Not even things to change, because I am who I am. And regardless of the physical aspects, I still deserve self-love. It's things in my subconscious, fears that I have had for years. Fears and insecurities from being bullied, fears and insecurities from being talked about, like those things that are deep in my subconscious that I'm bringing to light. I know I just have a little bit more to release, and with this Gemini full moon coming up, baby, that's about to be out of there too. But I know that my person lies on the other side of complete and total self-love, because the truth of the matter is, if I loved myself, Sam and I never would have even made it to October. because of the little things that sparks my intuition that I did not act upon. I knew in my gut, not in my heart, because people can fool your heart. You can't fool your soul. That's really who you need to listen to, because your heart, especially when you have unconditional love, you see things through rose-colored lenses. Your soul is where you get the answers. My soul, my gut, knew he was involved with someone else. Because I would ask him pretty often. I made decisions based off of the fear and insecurity that there was someone else. I allowed myself to be led astray rather than just be disappointed and hold my L. Instead of just holding my L when I should have held my L, I did. I drew it out. I kept waiting, because it was like, I would tell him, and something else that's crazy is I never even really got to express the full vibrancy of my personality. Like, I'm somebody, my friends, my true friends, that all two of them, they know, like, I am, like, the life of the party when I'm in my element. Like, I'm dancing, I'm turning up, I'm laughing. Like, I'm just, like, all of that. And, of course, he saw a little bit of that, but he really didn't even get to see the full scope of my personality, because it was, like, being able to let my guard down completely to show you all of the good aspects of me means that I have to let it down also for things that I don't know how you're going to receive them. Because I'm not going to consider any parts of my personality, like, bad. Not the aspects coming from my higher self, those egotistical aspects, that's a whole different story. But I don't know how you're going to perceive me. Which makes me interact with you almost on a shallow level. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like he felt that, because I kind of felt that from him as well. Like, it was like an emotional disconnect, because there was just so much insecurity on both sides. And it sucks. It sucks. It is what it is, though. Like, that person for you is not going to come with confusion. And if you're with someone and you're confused, it's because your mind, your heart, or your spirit, at least two of those aspects are not in agreement. They're not the one then. Because when you find that one, they're all going to be in agreement. With Sam, my heart was the forefront runner. Even my mind knew. My mind really knew. And my soul knew too. But I was trying to convince my soul. I spent so much of the situation trying to convince my soul, trying to let my guard down and push my guard down. I was literally like, this is my guard, this is me. And it just was not happening, because it's like, no, this is not a safe space. This is not a safe space. This is not the time. This ain't it. This is not it. You let your guard down more. I literally physically couldn't. But if I could have, I know I would have just left the situation even more broken. I have no desire for that. I have no desire for that. I have no desire for anything superficial. I have no desire for anyone who looks at me as an object to be possessed instead of a person to be loved. I have no desire for someone who sees me for what I can offer them physically, what I can give to them emotionally, how I can fulfill their needs without them being willing to reciprocate the energy. Y'all, why this man just asked me, can he pull up on, word for word, can I pull up on you and take you to get your feet done? I do need a pedicure, but I don't even know you. People on Instagram be so weird. But anyway. Yo, my skin is going to be bomb.com after I take this face mask off. I don't even know what else I was saying. Like, I think I might be towards the end of my rant. But, guys, I know that sometimes we operate with people out of a vibration of fear because we are afraid that we will never find love. A lot of us our age. He said out to eat. I don't know. Should I let this man get my feet done? Like, leave me a comment down below. I ain't dating though. No dating. Anyway, as I was saying, a lot of us move out of a vibration of fear because we're afraid that we'll never find true love. And that's something that I think a lot of us that's around my age or in my, generation, we feel that because we've seen these crazy divorce rates. A lot of our parents aren't together. If they are together, they're not happy. Like, we see all of the turmoil in relationships portrayed in the mainstream media. Like, everyone that's goals, it comes out that it's a scandal. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I think deep down we all are just looking for something to cling to. Like, that's why people cling to Jay-Z and Beyonce and Michelle and Barack so hard, because we want to believe that true love is out there and it's real and we can have it, and you can. You can. It doesn't matter. If you're watching this, you can have true love. There is no one that's sent on the earth to be alone. You can find true love. Even if, for some reason, it's not romantic love. There are 7 different types of love. Love can find you. And if you want true romantic love, you can have it, because anything in this life you can have. But you're never going to get that if you are on a vibration of fear, if you're on a vibration of insecurity, if you're on a vibration of just distrust, dishonesty. No, because true love doesn't come from that. You have to think, who am I? What am I? Because a lot of us like to say, if I attracted somebody just like me, well, because I attracted somebody just like me. And they were not committed. Because they were just like me, afraid, insecure, wanting something real and true and genuine, but not feeling like you're actually worthy of that. Do you really feel like you're worthy of love? A lot of us don't even know what love is. I did a video a couple months ago talking about the truth about love and what love truly is. This like peeling off. Okay, I'm gonna have to go wash this off in a second. But I did a video talking about what love truly is. I'll link it up in the cards below. A lot of us don't even know what love is. All we know is attachment, which was what the first situation that I talked about, that's all that was. Attachment, toxic bonds. Who is hitting me up? Attachment, trauma bonds, toxic bonds. We don't know what true love is. We don't. A lot of us have been programmed to think that love is turmoil and love is chaos and love is confusion. And it's not. But until I meet someone who knows that and understands that fully and has done the work for themselves, because you can know it up here. I think that Sam knew it up here. But when you don't do the work for yourself, I had not done the work for myself because I knew up here. I told y'all when I just told you your story. Like, Spirit told me instantly, you're going to regret that because I see you didn't learn from your last situation. I see that all of those times that you spent broke and broken, was not enough because you still don't know how to lay your boundaries. You're still afraid that if you say no, you're not going to be loved. You're still afraid that if you put your foot down, you're not going to be respected. You're so afraid that if you use your voice, you will be abandoned. If somebody abandons you, leaves you, rejects you for using your voice, they're not the one. They're doing you the favor. Because that one is going to want to hear what you have to say. It's going to be equal give and take. Understanding, trust, communication. If your soul doesn't even feel comfortable, learn to spend some time with yourself and love yourself. And before you date someone else, if you're single watching this, before you date someone else, write down all the characteristics that you want in your ideal person. And the next time you date someone, the first time, let me get up, because y'all not hearing me. The first time they show you that they don't have one of those qualities on those lists, cut it. Because if you compromise, you'll never attract what you really have. People say your standards are too high. Fuck all that. Fuck all that. If you know what you want and you are what you want, it's on its way to you. But if you accept something lesser, that's exactly what you're going to get. So we're going to end that video right there. I'm about to go wash my face. I love y'all so much. Remember, in order to live your life to its fullest, you must live and love fearlessly. Bye, y'all.